Hi everyone, let's talk about Rambo the board game, which again is on Kickstarter right now, and you can go and click the link in the description to see the campaign page and see all of the final stuff, and you can see the playthrough for, what's an example of what the gameplay is going to be like. But yeah, so far I'm really interested in how this is going to turn out. What I have had a chance to play, it's been really, really good. The thing that drew me to this game was people might be thinking that this isn't usually the kind of game that I cover, and when I first got the email, I thought, well, Rambo the board game, I don't know if that would be for me. But when I read about, I do have a big thing for games where they kind of unpack themselves over multiple scenarios, kind of introduce more rules and more concepts to you as your different scenarios go on. I really like that, and this does that really well. And as well, the fact that it has deterministic combat, so that is, everybody has an attack value on there, and it's going to do that damage. It's you're not rolling to hit, you're not rolling to see how much damage you do. It's doing that amount of damage. It's mitigated by armor and all sorts of things like that, but that's all laid out for you, and it really helps you to make your decisions. There is still surprises to be had in the threat deck. What enemies are going to come out, which ones are going to get activated this round, and usually some kind of event thing. Some of those do get a little frustrating, where they are severe, like lose all of your momentum tokens. You could have been really saving up for your special power, but they are few and far between. But anyway, that's the kind of the random element, the element of surprise in there, that you don't know which enemies are activating, you don't know which effects are going to last over the round. But the combat itself is, you're not going to spend all of your tokens and do all of your really, really powerful attack and then roll a dice and find out that, Rambo missed that one. That's not, I know that the justification for all of that is, it's simulating the randomness of real life and all this, but it's not real life. It's Rambo, or it's any other, Arkham Horror and all these things. They're not real life. We're trying to play out a story. And Rambo's not sitting there missing. He's not a stormtrooper. He is, out there. He's been brought here to do a job, and I really like that. That's the explanation in the rulebook as well. This is Rambo and Rambo's team. They aren't messing about. When they set out to do some damage to people, they do it. And similarly for the enemies, if these weren't the biggest, baddest enemies around, they wouldn't have sent Rambo. So I really like that justification for all of that. But so that was a big thing for me, and I really like how that plays out. And on top of that, it's got, as I said, it's got the randomness for the threat deck, and you don't really know what's going to be coming up in your scenario and in what order. Like in the playthrough, that very first card that we revealed, the very first Fog of War card that put enemies out, it would have really negatively affected people that were, the enemy was alerted to, that had their alert meter all the way up. The enemies would have rushed straight to them, and it would have been a lot worse for those heroes. But since it came out right at the start, it didn't affect us that much. There are a lot of things like that where you aren't really punished for using your threat. You lose the fact that if your threat's really low and it's in the green, you're automatically in cover, so that's a big boost for you. But if it's all the way at the top, you can still keep doing things, willy-nilly. So you can still keep using your big, powerful gun to, keep that threat going up, even though you've got no more spaces for it to go up. But there are a lot of effects, especially in this first scenario, that will negatively target that person for, the enemies know they're there. So obviously everything's going to happen to them. So you have to watch out for that. I like how the wound system works as well. It's not just it's not just a health system that we've got. It's, actually a thing that's going to kind of wind your heroes down, kind of represent them being wounded. They lose their stances, and the stances they lose, you always lose the leftmost one first. So once you lose all of your, so Rambo's got 8 health, once he takes 8 damage, he puts a wound token over his run, because if he's wounded, the first thing that he will not be able to do is run. And then, the next one, stand, crouch, and prone, they are the ones that you will lose next. And it's not always, in this scenario, just to start with, it was, if any hero gets 4 wound tokens, then it's over. There are different conditions over the different scenarios as well. But I like how that it isn't just over when you lose all your health, or you haven't just got 4 times that amount of health and then it's over when you run out of it. Your heroes are winding down and suffering from the negative effects that they are you're going through in this scenario. For now, I'm really interested in seeing how this goes on. and especially interested in playing with the the 2 player amounts of enemies or whatever might change for that player count, because yeah, it's just harder for us to think of 2 heroes at once, especially when you're trying to film it and you're doing 4 at once. But anyway, that's just a minor thing for now. I think there's a lot to like and a lot to be interested in, and you can go and check out the campaign page and see if it will be one for you, or check out the playthrough and ignore what I say. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.